Good morning. Can you believe it's been this long since we've had FYI Live come back? And I'm very happy to relaunch the show. We've been kind of on a break for a bit, but I've been also very busy trying to connect with community members that can help our business community. And today I have the privilege of having Miss Fay Glass. And there she is. How are you, Fay, this morning?
I'm doing well, doing well. Good morning.
All right, folks, if you don't know Fay, you're going to learn about Fay and what FPEM stands for and what they can do for the business community. So, what do you say we get started, Fay?
Sounds good.
All right. So, let's start with folks getting to know who you are. Tell us a little bit about Fay. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with your business. And obviously, tell us a little bit about your business before we get into the full details.
Okay, sounds good. So, my name is Fay Glass, and I am an emergency manager. I started my career with Riverside County Fire Department, Office of Emergency Services, and started off as a coordinator and then promoted up to a supervisor. Left the county and went to go work for the city of Redlands. And so that program had been dormant for a while. So I had to start over with that program of emergency plans, grant writing, as well as training and exercising to city staff. And so I retired, and I did not want all of this information to go dormant. So I decided to start my own consulting business and helping out different organizations from either businesses, nonprofits, or local government agencies in disaster preparedness and emergency management.
So, Fay, let me something that just stood out. What do you mean you're retired? You're too young to retire. What are you talking about? Come on.
Well,
But
I
but
thank you for that.
but I will tell you, but I am glad though that you are willing to share this with a lot of folks because there's a lot of great benefit that you're not keeping, with you in retirement. Because I know a lot of folks that tend to retire that have these great things that they do just before they retire, and it just kind of goes away with them, and nobody ever gathers information. Nobody ever captures that. And this is one of the great things why I appreciate you coming on board because people need to know exactly what you're all about. So with that said, tell us a little bit about your company. Tell us some key things that us as business owners should know and be prepared for.
Okay, so Focus Point Emergency Management Consulting Services was born in 2016, but I couldn't get it up and running because I was still working. So when I retired in 2020, that's where I was able to get it up and running. And so just like what I did in the private and public sector, I write emergency plans, as well as writing grants and doing grant management, and then training and exercising for different organizations on how they can be better prepared. It is crucial. As we notice, we've had recent fires lately, we've had some earthquakes lately. And so it is so important for businesses, and not only businesses, just personal preparedness of who's going to handle what, who's going to handle the communication part of it, who is going to have for disaster planning. When the last time have you trained with your staff of what their roles and responsibilities are during a disaster? So that's what Focus Point is all about, is to do an assessment on your organization, and then also to make sure that we provide you with the tools in being better prepared.
All right, folks, if you're watching, you need to make sure that you are following Faye. Below, you can see on the scroller there, that is her website. Make sure you reach out to her also to get some consulting advice as well of what you may need. So let me ask you this, Faye. In the perfect world, I mean, does it matter if you're a small business? Does it matter if you're a medium, large business, a city? What is your main focus with folks?
Well, my main focus is personal preparedness. It is crucial for you to be prepared. Although the city, county will come in to assist you, but until they're able to get resources available to that immediate area, it is crucial for you to either have a disaster plan, a communication plan with your staff, or a communication plan just with your family, a first aid kit, water, having those things is so very, very important, because you can be without those resources depending on the situation. If you have an earthquake that has immediately impacted the area, then you need to have those resources. And waiting until the event has occurred and then running out to the stores and trying to get those resources, you're doing what everyone else is doing. So that's why it's so important to have all of those things already in place.
So one of the questions that somebody just texted me on there is, so is your service, do you go out with folks? Do you already have kits prepared for businesses or people? Or how does that work?
So if they needed resources, they can contact me. I have a Calendarly invite to where you can go to the website, schedule an appointment with me. I also have a lot of free resources on our website under resources that can provide you with how to develop a plan. September is National Preparedness Month, so I'd like to welcome everyone to that. And the theme for this particular year through FEMA is starting a conversation. And so that's why it's so important that we're having this conversation today of how businesses and how, just like I said, how personal preparedness, it is so very important to have these different resources available. So you can go to our website. We can provide resources for you, how to develop a plan, what you would need to have in that plan, such as water, taking some form of training, first aid, CPR, CERT, community emergency response team, and having those resources available for your family in an event of a disaster and emergency. It's so very important. But come to our website and we can assist you with that.
That's awesome. And folks, if you're watching, there's a scroll on her for her website, so make sure that you go there. She mentioned the word free, so you look at the resources that she has to offer, and shame on you if you don't take advantage of them. That's what I always tell folks, right? It's a free resource.
Right.
If you don't take advantage of it, then it's on you with that. But let's talk a little bit about just how, and I'm sure you've seen this with people that put things off, businesses that put things off and off. I hate to talk about the negative, but we also have to talk about the negative to learn to get to the positive, right? So share with us maybe one or two stories of folks that you've helped, but this is after the fact when it's already past the emergency.
Well, even when I started my emergency management journey, there were still a lot of cities that either or didn't have an emergency manager that was dedicated to their, organization. It was kind of like as other duties as assigned. So different departments, but not really taking advantage of the importance of emergency management and what the roles and responsibilities are. And so, of course, that's a planning to fail when you do that. And I recommend that you have a designated emergency manager within your organization. So it doesn't matter if you're a local government or just a small business. What is your line of succession? What is your business continuity? If you were to have earthquake, fire, flood within this particular region, who's on first? Who handles what? Who makes notification to your employees? How do your business sustain this? What do you have already in plan, or what do you have in place? And making sure that each and every last your staff is aware of what your roles and responsibilities are, because you can have a plan, and if you don't exercise that plan, we call it exercises, not like working out, but exercising, training, exercising to make sure that your staff is aware of what their roles and responsibilities are. So a lot of people think that, oh, well, city, county, local government is going to come in and save the day. They will, but it will take some time for them to get things up and running. So it is crucial for you to have your own plan in place, either your personal preparedness or your business preparedness, and then training with your home, with your kids, with your loved ones, of how to be better prepared, what their roles and responsibilities are. If you live in the Inland Empire and you work in Los Angeles, what's the communication? How do you make that connection with your family of that you're okay? Having that out of state contact. And it doesn't matter if it's personal preparedness or for your business, having that out of state contact to where maybe you can make contact with a family member that's out of state And that's because your immediate impacted area, you might not have cell service, okay? Or you might not be able to text. But I do encourage everyone, make sure that you're able to text. But if you're not, that out-of-state contact, that's your connection. So with your personal preparedness, teaching your kids with grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt lives in Arizona or Georgia or what have you, and then that's your connection of how you can make contact. And so for a business, it's the same thing, making sure that your business have an out-of-state portal to where your staff, their families are able to tie in and make sure that everyone is okay. Because of course you want your employees to help you out during a disaster. So it's very important to have that out-of-state contact to where you're able to make contact with them.
And everything you're sharing is so crucial, but yet we don't, we always put it off, right? And I think that's the biggest downfall for a lot of us because we'll get around to it. We'll get around to it, right? And
Right,
around comes around and earthquakes happen, disasters happen. And by then it's like, should have, could have, would have, but we didn't, you know?
right,
So
right.
I'm glad that you're here reminding us, especially with, everything that right now a lot of our communities are going through, whether it's fires, some of them have experienced earthquake. It's a good thing it hasn't been like really major earthquakes, but it's crucial that, like you said, that we are prepared. I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you follow Faye, visit her website. Like she said, she mentioned there's a lot of free resources that are available to you. Set up a consultation for your business because the last thing you want to do, again, it's just after the fact when things are said and done and you can't do anything about it, right? So
That's right.
as we get to the end of our show, Faye, tell us some key things right now that we can do to get the ball rolling instead of just, hey, I'll get around to this. I saw Faye, it was great, but I'll get around to it when I have time.
Well, I like to start off with planning to fail, or failure to plan as planning to fail. Okay, so that's why it's so important for everyone to plan for an event, earthquake, fire, floods. It is so important to have a plan in place, take a training, and then also have supplies, earthquake supplies, first aid kits, training, like I mentioned before, CERT, community emergency response teams. BERT is for businesses, business emergency response team. Check for your local area to see, normally your emergency management can help you out. They can come out and do presentations. We can come out and do presentations for your organization of how they can be better prepared. Having some water, having a communication plan, that out-of-state contact. So here are just some quick little resources that will be able to assist you before. And like I said, don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait to plan, because if you waited until the earthquake fire has occurred, then you've waited too late.
Yeah. All right, folks, and I want to give a shout out again to Faye, to your company. I want to thank you for coming on. This is phenomenal information. Again, once again, folks, if you're not following Faye, visit her website. It is scrolling at the bottom of your screen there. Make sure you reach out to her, ask questions before it's too late, and always be prepared. So again, Faye, thank you so much for taking time to come on here. I always want to make sure that folks know great resources, because the last thing I want to do is for you to be the best kept secret. I want everybody to know how to
Thank you.
prepare, how to get things going as well. So with that said, we're at the tail end of our show, folks. Thank you for joining FYI Live. There's a lot of great content coming up, a lot of great businesses that we're going to feature here, and also a big announcement probably by the end of the week. So you better follow us on hashtag FYI Technologies. Follow Faye as well. But this is more related, like I said, to our business community for resources. And if you're a small business struggling, if you're a medium-sized business struggling, drop me a line. I'd love to have you on the show, see how we can help you get exposure out there. Like I said, I want to make sure that you guys are not the best kept secret, because we all need you guys. So, Faye, any last parting words before we go?
Like I said, September is disaster preparedness month. I'd like to encourage you to go to our website, pick up those free resources that will be able to assist you. And don't forget about the Great Shakeout that is next month in October. So it's very, very important for you to go ahead and sign up for the Great Shakeout. Say that you're going to participate either with developing a plan or a communication plan, or what have you. So that particular date is 10/17 at 10/17. So just make a plan, get prepared.
And actually, now that you reminded me, we may have to have you back at the beginning of October to talk a little bit more about this. Maybe we'll come up with our own online plan, right? If people get
Right.
followed. So you guys have to stay tuned and make sure you follow us. Until next time, Faye, thank you again, and I will see
Thank
you
you.
next time. All right.
Thank you.